Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to Winning Picks Weekly, college football full slate edition. As always, my name is John Meleka, co-host of Knicks, Jets, etc., where we talk about the Knicks, the Jets, and etc. Check out our YouTube. That's you can find our Jets stuff there. You can find our Knicks playlist. You could find the Winning Picks Weekly. You could also find our stuff on the Daily Knicks or the Jet Press. As always, I'm joined by our video producer, third leg on the Jets pod. What up, Greg?
What's going on, John? Happy to be back. Happy to be talking college football and gambling.
Hell yeah, man. Week 2 was awesome. We learned a lot. We'll get into that. And there's no one better to find out what he learned after a big redemption week from our boy Chip Murphy, at Chip Murphy 7. What up, Chip?
Yeah, man. Thank you. Things had to turn around. Yeah, things had to get better. They did. It was a nightmare first week, and I knew things would turn around a little bit, and they did. I learned what teams to trust, what teams not to trust. I was a little too dependent on the Mac even in week 2. And I'm not going to say I learned from that because I took a couple more MAC teams this week. But I think I learned my lesson with South Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I learned my lesson with Iowa. I think everybody learned their lesson with Iowa.
I don't know if I've learned all my lessons, but
Uh,
they hurt. They hurt my feelings. They definitely hurt
no,
my feelings this week.
I've made some. I'm going to say I've made some money betting on Washington State. I love Washington State, love USC, love BYU, and Mississippi State. And we'll get to, I'm sure, the Mississippi State LSU game at some point today. Mississippi State, man, they covered again. They looked great against an Arizona team that played really well in week 1 against San Diego State. They locked that team down on defense. It's not just an all offense Mike Leach team. That team looked really good and pretty handily covered in that game. I don't know, man. And also it was I didn't have Kansas spread in the West Virginia game, but wow, that was a wild Kansas West Virginia game. Just watching that one. But besides that, I would say I wish I had Texas. I didn't have the guts to take that one, but I I had the over in that one. But and I also learned Sam Hartman's back for Wake. I can go back to taking Wake like I did last year. He's just going to come back and light teams up.
Chip, I mean, that was one of the games I had, but you were so right. I was thinking, as often and as hard as I like to go at you for being wrong, I was like the whole time I was like, Chip was so right.
Yeah,
this whole time.
That's what I was trying to tell you. I'm like, dude, you were making a defense like it was Vandy. I'm like, it's Vandy. And he's one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
No, I mean, you were right that he looks good. He's the best quarterback in the country, but we were worried. We were worried that he was going to miss the whole season, let alone how he's going to play early. It was rumored to come, second half. It's week 2. He looks good to me.
Yeah, but he's
covering double-digit spreads.
He's so important to them. I feel like they wouldn't have rushed him back if he wasn't ready. Because
tell
that's
that to
how
New York Jets, bro. Tell that to the New York Jets.
Yeah.
Speaking of things you learned, Iowa is a tough one for me. I love Iowa so much. I love Campbell. I love Laporta, and I love that punter. And if he's not a New York Jet, I'm gonna protest. I need Taylor on the New York Jets. I'm gonna scream from the top of my lungs. New York Jets kicker stinks. Whatever. Anyway, I learned that if I'm gonna take Iowa, if I have the balls to take Iowa, I also have to just match it with the under. Okay, just match it with the under. Like if I want to go Iowa, it's double or nothing, right? Because I hate their quarterback. He's so bad. Like it's honestly hard to watch. It's like growing up watching the New York Jets. That's what, honest to God, what it reminds me of. It reminds me of like Kyle Bollinger and Kelly Clemens and Greg McElroy. That's what I feel like I'm watching.
Oh, McElroy! Wow, he played for us. Forgot about
that. That Iowa was tough, man. Obviously, Alabama, tough game. I had Alabama by 11-30 to win, not to lose, and that was done from the beginning. I love ECU. I love East Carolina. They are my favorite team to take, especially if the spread is close. They're unbelievable. BYU, like you said, undefeated against the spread. That's cool. Virginia stinks. That was supposed to be the lock. That was supposed to be the lock of the set. Virginia stinks. I don't want to take them. I absolutely love the Gators. They're one of my favorite teams. And I'm gonna pat
They
myself
didn't look
on the
great.
back.
They didn't
I
look
know.
great on Saturday.
I know. I still like them though. I'm gonna tap myself on the back here for being absolutely wrong about you, Albany. Plus 2.5. Can't freaking cover 2.5 against freaking New Hampshire. Give me a damn break, bro. Give me a damn break. I think I'm off the Albany train. I think I'm man enough to do that. But there's a lot of things that we're gonna get into today. Like I learned that Air Force is a beast. Colorado stinks. I was right about that. So there's some things I was right about. I'm kind of happy about. Some things I'm obviously wrong about. Trying to learn here day by day in the college. Greg, what did you learn week 2?
Whew. We learned a lot. I mean, underdogs were barking. I mean, there was a lot of upsets, which was great.
And Notre Dame sucks. Sorry.
Notre Dame stinks.
I was right on that all
Wisconsin stinks. I mean, Wisconsin usually loses the season in a horrible fashion. It's just usually not week 2.
Yeah, it's usually late.
Yeah. Wake Forest can score. I had the under in that game, and depending on where you got it, it covered. I did my first, I don't know if you guys ever do round robin bets. I did my first round robin bet with a 3-team parlay. So it puts in, I think it was like $50, so it's like $200. And it's a 3-team parlay and then 3 2-team parlays. So I bet 200, I won like $183 on my unders that I had on a Saturday morning. So that was great. And then Alabama first half. My biggest takeaway is that if you start out slow, like give yourself enough wiggle room to just keep firing. Because I started out 0-3 and then won 8 in a row at the end of the night. And I just didn't bet all of them because I was gun shy. So I bet a few of them here and there. And just have to remember, just trust yourself. You do the research, you do the homework. We talk it out here for an hour or so. We text about it. We talk on Twitter, Winning Pete Weekly. Check us out, Chip Murphy 7. He's talking all the time on there. Chip, I got to get my Twitter game up, man. I'm on there and I see 3 or 4 tweets in a row. I'm like, damn, I got to start getting my tweets off. So
you talk about talking it out. I'm just talking out my frustration about how bad things are going most of the time.
Couple like team specific. Charlotte is bad, so I'm probably gonna bet against them every week. UMass is bad. I'm probably gonna bet against them every week. I fucking love Oklahoma State. They just score. I love Mike Leach. I think Miami might be the real deal with Van Dyke. I'm not sure yet. But
that's one of the big ones I'm confident about. One of my big parlays with the ones with Miami in it.
Yeah,
I'm excited about those. Still plus 500.
And I talked to Arizona, or I talked to Air Force before the season, and I talked to Maryland before the season. I think both those teams look strong. To Chip's point, though, Maryland does, when they're up, slow down. So that worries me a little bit about Maryland. So when we get to it this week, we'll talk about the way I'm playing it, because I'm staying away from the spread. I'm going with an over-under for that one.
And also, Texas A&M, I was right. And I don't know if you guys agreed with me. I was right about Texas A&M. It was the same as North Carolina last year.
Yep.
They were overrated because of their recruiting class. And App State did what App State does. That was impressive.
I love App State. You were right about A&M. I was right about Oregon because Bo Nix threw 5 touchdowns.
Oh, God.
You were right about USC. And this has nothing to do with college football, but Aaron Judge, another home run.
Jesus.
Oh, boy.
57.
Oh, nice. Boy.
Wait, he hit 2 tonight?
Yeah, he hit 2 today. Just hit another one. Okay, anyway.
Wait.
Jumping in
before we jump in,
okay,
I feel like, based on my incorrect Nebraska take, I feel like we should talk about Scott Pross getting shit canned just for at least a minute.
Yeah, go ahead. This is your Nebraska's your big pick. We laughed at you.
Yes.
Then you said we gotta fire the coach. We laughed at you again after week 2. But then somehow they fired him. I know he has the worst record ever, but what do you think? What do you think about the move?
I think it was obvious they had to do it, but I want like to bring a gambling. They had to fire him. He lost to Georgia Southern. Yeah, like it was the
I
right
love
move
Georgia
to fire him.
Southern, bro.
And
I
he
love them.
lost.
I
Of course, he
legitimately love
lost
them.
to Clay Helton, the former USC coach. Like it was an embarrassing loss to give up all those points at home to Georgia Southern. It was the right move. Uh, but I'll talk about the Nebraska game later against Oklahoma. But I saw they to bring a gambling angle into it. The odds to be the next Nebraska coach are up. I want to know what you guys thought of them. I'm sure you probably saw Matt Campbell, the Iowa State's head coach's name out there. He's the favorite right
Story of
now.
my life, bro.
Yeah,
Matt Campbell has been rumored to be head
yeah,
coach
to the Jets
everywhere.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus 400 is Matt Campbell. Plus 450 is Mickey Joseph, who's the current interim head coach. Then Mark Stoops plus 500, Kentucky head coach. Bill O'Brien plus 700, the Alabama offensive coordinator and former head coach of Penn State and the Texans. Dave Clawson plus 900, Wake Forest head coach. Jim Leonard plus 900. He's the defensive coordinator there.
Jimmy. Love
Lance
Jim Leonard.
Leipold plus 1,000, the Kansas head coach, and Urban Meyer plus 1,100.
No Matt Rule on there. I heard Matt Rule a little bit.
I'm
Might
looking
be on
at
the hot seat. Cliff Kingsbury might be on the hot seat. I think it might be an NFL guy that comes in there because I think it's
maybe.
a pretty good landing spot.
Yeah, I'm looking at oddschecker.com, and those are the
Okay.
only names they have listed. But yeah, I feel like they should shoot for one of those guys if that's possible. If Rule is definitely getting fired, but
Yeah.
the thing is, they can't wait. They can't wait that long because of recruiting, and they have to get a guy in quickly. You know,
Nice.
like if they want to get a better class than they've been getting recently. So I saw someone wrote an article about how they should try and get Sean Payton, which is to me is just crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he comes back,
because
he's
he's
going
going
to
to
the
the
NFL.
Cowboys.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to Cowboys.
Yeah, what are the odds on that? Because I would like that bet because that
Yeah,
seems like a sure
exactly.
thing.
Yeah. But no, Campbell is a Midwestern guy. He's an Ohio guy, so I understand why he's the favorite. To me, the best bet is still Urban Meyer, just because he's Urban Meyer plus 1,100. Like, I just feel like obviously he would go there. And I've talked about this. I think I've talked about this on the show. Like him wanting to be the savior of another program. Like he saved Florida football. He turned it into a dominant program again. He saved Ohio State program, turned it into a dominant program again. If he turned Nebraska football into a champion again, they would build a statue of him. They don't care what he did at Ohio State. Yeah.
But who's gonna save Urban Meyer?
What do you mean? Who's going to save him?
He stinks. Who's gonna
He
save him from
stinks.
himself?
He
Yeah,
stinks.
dude, I would love if Urban Meyer went to Nebraska so I could just hate Nebraska with everything in my body.
Hey.
I that would be terrible for them.
I'm
If
not.
they got Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer is He's a horrible person. Horrible person. Terrible guy.
And
terrible
horrible NFL head coach.
But he's not coaching the NFL here.
No, I'm just saying those are
He's
two
objectively he's
is bad.
one of
being a
the
person and being
one
an
of
NFL head coach.
one of the 5 best college football coaches of all time, without a
Yeah.
doubt. So
Yeah.
it would be a home run hire. But
They should take Matt Rule. I agree. The timing though doesn't make sense.
He
I'm
he
not betting
coached
this.
Temple. He coached Temple.
What are the
Yeah.
odds for the defensive coordinator right now?
Jim
Leonard
Leonard
is plus 900. I don't know if they'll go that.
I love Jim Leonard.
Mark Stoops being plus 500 is interesting.
I don't think Stoops is leaving where he's at though. He's built a
He
program.
he has the best job in college sports, that guy.
Yeah.
Like if he wins 10 games, there's a parade. And if he goes like 7-5, it's like, well,
We'll get him
it's
next
a basketball school. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think you have to find someone that hasn't built something already. If you built a program up to being somewhat relevant, I don't think you're looking to trade that in and start over. I get that Nebraska is a pretty desirable position because of the history of Nebraska football, but it hasn't been Nebraska football since the 90s. So it's not like they were relevant 5-10 years ago. It's been 20 years.
Feels like 98.
Well,
Yeah.
it's the desirable part. I was talking about this with my brother because he brought up what you just said, and I was like, the desirable part now is when they pony up the Mel Tucker, Nick Saban, Brian Kelly money and say we'll give you 10 years, $100 million. Yeah, because if they say that to Matt Campbell, he's going to be like, okay, yeah,
Do you think they're
I'll
gonna
take that
do that
money.
though? Because like, what was it, Scott Frost? If they waited 3 more weeks, they could have saved like $7.5 million.
Yeah, they paid 15 million to get him the hell out of
Yeah,
there.
I'm nervous that they might be gun shy with doing like a big time
Ah,
contract. But to me, for 1100 for Urban Meyer, throw $50 on it. I don't think that's a terrible idea because to your point, if some of these people, if they could look past what he did in the NFL and like, yeah, I think he's a very desirable name. He seems like he likes to build programs, like you said. So for $1,100, I don't think it's the craziest bet. Just with all the stuff that came out with him in Jacksonville, though, of like kicking people and the way he was treating people and stuff. I don't know if, as a program, if you want that around, but he's a winner. A winner, fixes everything. So
yeah, remember what happened with Saban in Miami? Yeah,
yeah,
that was a disaster. But there's plenty of reasons not to want Urban Meyer there. I'm just saying it would not surprise me if they hired him just because he's a great coach.
Facts, facts.
Mhm.
So jumping into the week 3 slate, boys. Friday. Interesting games on Friday night. 2 games I honestly am very interested in. I want to watch both of them. Pretty rare for a Friday night. ESPN game, Florida State at Louisville. Florida State, our boy Jared Verse from UAlbany, absolutely murdering it. Sacks, block field goals. He's a killer. Florida State, I mean, LSU has a cool name, has a head coach with a big name, but they absolutely stink. So I don't know if we learned anything about Florida State in the last 2 games. I don't know what we learned about Louisville, the 1-1 over the last 2 games as well. But right now, Florida State -2.5. Everyone's on Florida State, and they have to win by a field goal. For me, I'm not touching this game. I'm very interested to watch it. If I were, I would be leaning Florida State. Anyone like this game?
I'm looking it up right now. I'll actually be in Louisville on Friday, so I
Oh, let's
would
go.
I would love to bet Louisville just because I'm in town, but I think I might have to stick Great Danes stick together. I might have to go with my Jared Verse pick of the week here and go Florida State. However, I'm trying to look it up right now. I kind of like the Louisville team total under. I feel like they've been kind of hit or miss, but they haven't scored a lot. And I think when I saw it earlier, it was 27.5 or 24.5.
Well, the over-under's going up, so that's probably going up as well.
Yeah, let me look this up real quick. But I don't think Louisville is gonna score a ton.
No,
Chip, what do you like about this game?
Yeah, 27.5 is the over under. So I think I might bet Louisville under 27.5.
that's a good one. Yeah, I'm with you, John. I don't like the spread either because I have no idea how good Florida State is. We talked about this before. They beat Duquesne in week 1, so who cares? And then they beat LSU, and I think LSU may kind of stink. So I don't know how much of that was just LSU kind of, and
Sure.
also Florida State also almost gave that game away at the end. It's not like they played a perfect game against LSU.
Yeah, I
Um,
think this is totally Louisville, man. 90% of the bets and 98% of the money on FSU feels
yeah,
like a lot.
but
It feels like a lot.
It is Louisville's home opener, so I can see leaning that way. But I like the under more. The total's
56.
50. I have 57 here. Whatever, 56,
Oh, let's
57.
go. Moving. I like it. I like it.
Um,
Let it go. Let it blow up because it opened at 54.5. If I have it at 56, you have it at
yeah,
57. It's moving.
yeah. Yeah, Louisville only scored 27 points combined in their first 2 games. Like they beat UCF, but it's not like they torched them. It's not like they played this perfect game again. Louisville didn't. Louisville hasn't played like super well. Like
Well, I like
UCF
that.
really gave away that game in the second game. Their offense all of a sudden went ridiculous. They just started calling stupid plays.
I like that, and that gives some extra beef to our Jared Verse pick of the week. And we're still taking Florida State. We're taking Florida State's defense. We're just taking the under here. I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
I like the under in that game. I think you guys looked at the Air Force game a lot more than I did. If I had to lean one way on that one, I would definitely lean Air Force just because I watched the Wyoming Illinois game in week 0 and they looked so dreadful. There's no way I could bet them.
Well, I like that because as Greg just said, he's going to Louisville this weekend. I was in Colorado and Air Force was playing. I was thinking a lot about going to that game, and I was watching it. They absolutely murdered. Air Force killed Colorado. I know that Colorado is one of the worst teams in the league coming into it. We had that in the previews. I like Air Force minus 14.5, dude. I really like them. I like a little Friday night parlay and take them separate. Louisville under, Air Force spread. Maybe take the first half. Right now it's 7.5, which I don't like. If it's 7, I'll take it just so I can get the touchdown push. But I like 14.5. I think they're gonna kill Wyoming. I'm so glad you said Wyoming stinks. That makes it easier for me.
I'm going with the over in this one. I was looking at it more when we were just talking about it. I'm trying to make up my mind on this. I love Air Force. They're one of the teams I gave out before we started the season. They've been playing really well. Laying 3 scores with the Air Force is a little concerning, even though they've won by 3 scores in both their games to start, but they've also played Northern Iowa and Colorado. We talked about how Colorado is going to be bad this season, so it's kind of what I expected last week. Wyoming, I think we all agree, isn't supposed to be anything great, but they did have a good showing last week against a terrible school, so I'm not sure how to gauge Wyoming. It's still early in the season where I'm trying to figure out these teams. Everyone's picking Wyoming. Like, if you look online and look in articles and stuff like that, Wyoming, too many points. To me, I don't know if I agree with that, but because of that,
this is the same thing last week, by the way, with Air Force Colorado.
Yeah, that's true
close.
too. And it wasn't even close. I'm going with the over in this one. I see the line at, John, I don't know if you have the opening line. I see it at 56 and a half.
No,
it's now
I have it at
46.
50.5.
50.5.
Yeah.
It's now 46.5 though. You have that. So it's moved down.
Yeah, which I like, to just let it keep going down, and as 67% of the bets and 68% of the money is on the under. Just let that keep going and bang that over. I kind of like that little over Air Force under Louisville, and then going the opposite way of the line. I like that.
Also, Air Force hasn't scored less than 40 points in either of their games so far.
That's why that's why minus 14.5 is so easy.
Yeah, they're scoring. So if Wyoming is going to be good, maybe it's 35-30. Like, maybe it is a close game and it's just too many points. But I think both teams are going to score. I think Air Force is going to score. I don't know if both teams are going to score. We're going to see for Wyoming. But for me, it's more about the line. Like, Vegas said it was going to be 50. Like, I have it here 56. Maybe it was 50 that the opening line was. And then all of a sudden, big bets came in on the under, so they had to drop the line down. I think Vegas originally thought it was going to be around that 50 mark. So now that the line's moved down 4 points, to your point, maybe on Friday it's moved down to either another point or two. So yeah, I'm taking the over 46.5. If it drops more, maybe I'll sprinkle a little more on it.
I like that. Chip.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that too. You talked me into that. I was just I was looking at all that. I'm gonna take the over 46.5 too. I was just looking at what Air Force has done so far. I like
killing it, dude.
Yeah, I have here it opened at 47.5, but I don't know. There's conflicting information.
No matter what, it's going down. At least we have that consistency.
Yeah,
that's good. I like that we have our own separate numbers. We're all fact checking here, doing our own little research,
talking it out
to our card.
Yeah.
This is a podcast about college picks for us. we're talking these picks out and with you guys. So let us know what you guys have. Let us know your thoughts about our games, and this is as we jump into the Saturday slate, man. And I'm so happy that there's an 11 a.m. game. I don't care about it at all, but I'm just so happy that there's an 11 a.m. game. If the line comes out, I might touch it. The Walford VT. I don't see anything right now. I'm sure it's going to be plus 40. or something for Wofford. It's gonna be fun. But anyway, noon games, lots of big ones. Anyone want to start us off with a big noon game that they're either excited to watch or excited to bet on?
Yeah,
I, Go ahead.
best bet of the week for me right here. Georgia minus 24.5 against South Carolina. I don't care that it's 24.5. That number sucks. If you can get it at 23.5, that's a lot better. But Georgia just looks so good. South Carolina has not looked impressive at all this season, to be nice. The over, I see it moving towards the over. So, someone's thinking points are going to be scored. If points are going to be scored, I think chances are it's going to be Georgia. This defense looks stout for Georgia. South Carolina, I believe, lost an outside linebacker / edge rusher and a middle linebacker to season-ending injuries this week. So I think there's some opportunity for Georgia, especially I think they have a couple good tight ends there.
And they lost to Arkansas. They got smacked.
Yeah, I mean, I liked Arkansas. I know Arkansas has been a hot topic on this
they've been
podcast.
good for us. Yeah.
But I've liked Arkansas. I think Georgia, again, gets it done. 24.5 is a lot of points, but Georgia, I think, is the best team in the country right now, so I'm laying it with them. Best bet of the week.
And that looks good for you because they're playing Charlotte the week after, so you could fade them this week, grab South Carolina next week. See how that goes for you. But yeah,
Yep.
I mean, we saw what Georgia does to inferior teams. We saw what Georgia did to Oregon, and then Oregon went back yesterday and dropped 70. I mean,
Huge bounce back spot for them.
That just shows that doesn't prove anything about Bo Nix and Oregon, despite me being facetious. That proves everything about Georgia. They're just on a different level right now. I'm excited for the Georgia Bama Ohio State clash. At the end here. Maybe Miami too. But yeah, I mean, this is just chalk stuff, right? If you like Georgia, first half full, I like it. Best bet. I mean, I do like your stuff about South Carolina injuries. That's huge, especially for a team that lost to Arkansas last week. First half is minus 14. I see it as. I kind of like that too. 2 touchdowns. Yeah, I could see myself sprinkling on Georgia here just to have a big favorite. It only went up a point from 23.5 to 24.5. Chip, do you have any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I think Georgia's the best team in the country too. And I didn't go with the spread because I don't know. It's a weird number. I didn't like that many points, I guess. Yeah. But I took South Carolina's team total 13.5 under. I just think
it's 13.5, dude.
Yeah. It seemed weird to me that it was that many points. I don't think South Carolina is going to score 2 touchdowns. I think maybe they think South Carolina could get a special teams touchdown or a defensive touchdown or something. I don't think they're going to score that many points against Georgia.
What am I missing here?
You're not missing anything. Georgia's the pick. If South Carolina's 13.5 and the over is 56, that means they think 52. Georgia's going to score 40.
52.
Yeah, 52. I mean, that means they think Georgia's going to score 40.
Yeah.
What am I, dude? Either 24.5 might be the easiest spread of the week now that you guys said. I'm not the math guy.
Yeah, I didn't know the South Carolina team thing. I did not expect it to be that low.
13 is a crazy number.
Yeah, 13 is low for an SEC team.
All right. Moving on. Let's get into this noon game. We talked about this team a lot opening here. We got Oklahoma at Nebraska. Nebraska, new coach. Minus 11, Chip. Disrespecting your boys. Oklahoma. You like them? The number six team in the country right now?
Nebraska.
You like them?
Nebraska plus 11.5. Yep. I got it on my card right here.
You like Nebraska?
For sure. I love him with the interim head coach. Yeah, he's making changes. He's already talking about how things are going to be different there.
Of course,
he's making changes.
Say, Chip?
Yeah, he's not going to say they're going to.
Yeah,
be the same.
No, it's going to be the same. Yeah. We're going to suck just like we did the last couple of years.
Yeah, I know.
Of course, but okay. How about this? It's hard to gauge what you're going to see from Nebraska. I get that. We all know about the outside forces that can come. What do you think about the Sooners here? I know they played nobody. They played UTEP and Kent State. But yeah, anything
They
about
played a
Oklahoma?
pretty shitty first half against Kent State, by the way. They were up like
Yeah,
6-0.
yeah.
They didn't play it. They didn't play a great game against Kent State. So take that into account.
But you
And
don't think they're
also
going
they
to be
were at
hyped in
home.
Nebraska though? They're going to be hyped in Nebraska. You don't think for this big game?
I'm
Big
sure
game
they
for
are.
Nebraska. It's going to be emotions everywhere.
I would think so. Yeah, but I think Nebraska is going to be hyped for their first game with the interim head coach. I think they will. I
Okay,
don't know. 11.5 is
a lot.
11.5 is a lot. Double-digit points. I don't know.
Okay,
They're at home. If they were on the road, of course, I wouldn't be betting them. But I don't know. The fans are good. The stadium's going to be hot too. Obviously, it always is, but now especially with him gone, they're going to be so excited
I think the
to be
bets are going to
there.
come in on Nebraska. I'm kind of hoping this keeps moving down a little bit, and I grab Oklahoma at like 10. It's at 11 right now. You said you had 11.5. It's down to 11.
11.5 on Barstool.
I like Oklahoma here, man. I think they're going to smack Nebraska. Craig, what
Mm.
do you think?
I mean, again, I don't know what you guys see for odds. I see the opening over under as 60 and it's up to 66 or 67 and a half.
I'm on, yeah, open for me at 65.5. Now it's at 66. It did touch 66.5 though.
For
Yeah.
me, it says here 68.5. It opened at even. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess it depends
So it opened
on
high. Yeah.
Because if it opened low and I see 70% of the money on the under. So if it opened
Yeah.
low and it's moving up, but all the money's on the
Yes.
under, that makes me think that the over is the play.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm not really sure exactly.
No, that's
based
right.
On, based,
That's right.
well, based on what it opened at, I guess that's what's driving me crazy. Is we all have different opening lines.
But regardless, we all have it going up from 65.5 for me to 66, even though it's not much movement. But everything moves from now till
actual
Friday,
kickoff.
Saturday. Actually, it's crazy. I like look back at our card, look what I have, and look what the actual spreads are, and I'm like, I can't believe it. All my favorite picks are like completely gone now because I'm gonna start instead of forcing myself to just take the pick because I like want to be right. I'm just gonna start fading. I'm like, yo, I moved so hard from when I liked it. I just have to take the opposite now. I'm gonna start. I think making some sharp plays like that.
Yeah, and also too, college lines move like crazy. Like some of these over unders can move by a touchdown. It's insane. But yeah, for me in this one, give me the under. I know I should take the over, but give me the under. I'm just not sure about Nebraska right now. Oklahoma, think's pretty good, but I just don't know about 68 points between the two of them. I just don't know what Nebraska is.
Yeah, no one does. No one
Yeah.
does.
I like their
Well-
offensive coordinator. Came over from Pitt, right? That's the same guy we talked about earlier.
Mhm.
So, but I don't know if he's gonna have free reign like he hasn't had so far this season. So, give me
All
the
right, let me
under.
ask you guys this: what do you guys know about Michigan football? Have you guys learned anything about them?
They beat
That
the
they can
crap out of
beat
bad
bad
teams.
teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got another bad one coming into town. Yeah, they haven't eluded us all season yet. I feel like this is a big game with them every week so far. That's a UConn at the big house, catching 48. Am I taking Michigan in this game or am I just not touching it? It's 48 and the over under is 60.
I don't know, man. Cuse just hung 50 on UConn at UConn. So I think Michigan shouldn't have a problem scoring on them.
48 is a wild number, Greg.
I know it's too many points, but I agree exactly what Chip's saying. UConn killed me week 1 because I didn't realize that Utah State absolutely sucks. So I watched a little bit of that game.
And then I took them week 2 also. I took UConn week 2 as well. Like an idiot.
Yeah, and then they just absolutely got
So bad.
wrecked by Syracuse. So,
I told you not to take UConn, by the way, John.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so yeah, I agree with
Sleeping
Chip,
on
though.
Cuse.
Yeah, and I think Syracuse is very good. I think
am.
Michigan's better though, so they should be able to cover this. But it's just too many points for me. One weird thing happens and you lose
It's
your
over.
bet. Yeah.
All right, Chip. I've been sleeping on Cuse. You're right. And they're playing Purdue this weekend.
Money line. Money
You
line
like it?
against Purdue. Mm-hmm. They're at home.
Okay. Good deal.
Money line
You,
against Purdue.
you won't hear anything
I'm
from me.
I'm
Put it
taking
on
them
my
again.
card.
Money
I
line
got
against
it.
Purdue.
I'm down. Greg, do you have any thoughts?
Under 58.5.
That's a good one too.
I think both of these teams have looked like they can
Ooh.
score. I think they haven't really matched up with someone. I guess Purdue matched up pretty well, equal talent wise, as was it Penn State week
So,
1.
what did they play last week?
I think some crappy team, and they just beat
Yeah,
the
they
crap
didn't
out
play
of them.
anyone
It
good.
wasn't Pitt, right?
No.
No,
I mean, it wasn't Wake, right? It was Wake.
no, Wake was
Oh, it was Indiana State.
yeah. So yeah,
56-0.
I'm just going 58.5 the under. I think that a lot of people are on the over, and rightfully so. I think Syracuse offense looks pretty good. I think the Purdue offense looked better than expected, but I'm gonna be a little contrarian this week. I'm going with the under. It's a big. Last week was a big favorites for me. I took a lot of favorites. Maybe all of them were favorites. This week I have a ton of unders, and this is one of them.
All right, I'm gonna roll with Chip and Cuse here. All right, so we got Baylor had a huge game last week versus BYU. BYU undefeated against the spread. But we're talking Baylor here. Baylor minus 30 against Texas State. Is Baylor the real deal here? Or does Texas State just stink?
I don't know anything about Texas State.
That's what
to be honest with you.
That's what I was just gonna look up. I don't know if they're are they an FBS team?
Well, they
or an
lost.
FCS
Well, they
team?
lost to Nevada week 1.
And I should tell you something, because Nevada, we have to talk about them at some point too, John. You were all over how bad they were. I know people were talking about
Nevada's so bad.
upsets
They're so bad.
with Notre Dame and Texas A&M. You and I were texting, and Chip, we were texting about freaking Nevada losing, Utah State losing to FCS teams. So, Texas State though. To me, I look at Texas State. I hate to say it. I don't want to be mean here about my alumni, but to me, it's like it goes back to the Albany game week 1. It's like Baylor killed Albany by 60. Then they went on the road to BYU, which is a tough place to play. I think BYU's the real deal. I had BYU last week. I think Baylor just comes back and beats the living crap out of them. A lot of spots I like are when teams play another good team and lose, especially in heartbreaking fashion. Yeah. And then the next week when they play an inferior opponent, when the line's 45 like Michigan or 48, that's tough, but 30 in college is crazy to say. It's not like a ton of points. So, I mean, it is a ton of points, but it's doable.
And everyone's on Texas State.
Everyone's on Texas State. That's what I don't get.
Yeah, it makes no sense. They lost to Nevada. Nevada, guys.
I was trying to figure out. I was looking at it because I was trying to figure out, was there like an injury in Baylor that I'm not aware of? But I didn't see anything. So
no, it's just a lot of points.
Yeah, I mean, give me Baylor all day. I think they're gonna kill them at home. Baylor against a bad team, I like 30. I mean, what was it, 40 something against Albany, and they covered that?
Dude, yeah, that was embarrassing.
Yeah,
but they're at home here, so I think it is different. But yeah, they are willing to put up points. Chip, give me a noon game here.
Western Kentucky +7.
I was just staring at that too. I knew you would like that.
Against Indiana. Yeah.
Indiana, huh?
Yeah.
Indiana bad.
I think I took Illinois money line to beat Indiana.
Yeah.
And I got burned on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But man, Indiana just wasn't impressed. Both those teams stink, and they were
beat
just,
Idaho, bro.
Yeah. They were losing 10-0 at halftime to Idaho. I so badly want to take Western Kentucky money line because I feel like they could win that game. Even Indiana is being I think it opened up at -10. Yeah,
this is one of the worst games on the slate. Western Kentucky versus Indiana might be one of the worst games.
Well,
both
it's not.
Teams are bad.
Western Kentucky doesn't play the way they used to, where they throw the ball like 9,000 times anymore either. So it's not like that. Yeah, that it's not. I mean, I'm not going to watch the game. I just think Indiana. I just think it's crazy.
I mean, they smacked Hawaii last week, which I was definitely right about that one too. I'm my batting average on teams that are going to be really bad. I'm batting 1,000 on teams that are going to be good on. Not so much, but these are going to be bad. I hit that on the head. Hawaii stinks. Like I can't
Hawaii's
count that as a real game.
Hawaii's bad, but they covered against Michigan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's why another reason not to take Michigan against UConn. But
Facts.
these lines are bananas, those 50-point lines or whatever. But
Yeah.
I like Western Kentucky against Indiana just because I think Indiana's just not that good. I don't think they should be favored by that many points. They were losing to Idaho 10-0 at halftime. They almost lost the Illinois game. You can make an argument they're 2-0 right now. You could make an argument they should be 0-2. So are they? I think they're 2-0, right? They're 2-0.
They are 2-0. They're
They're
both
2-0.
2-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I hate this game. If I were to touch it, I'd take the under. 61.5 feels like a lot. Both these teams stink, but I'm not touching this game. Greg, are you?
No, but I'm in the same boat. I would go with the under as well.
All right. Done with the noon games. Anyone have Buffalo, Coastal Carolina?
I was looking at that one.
What do you got?
I didn't take anything, but I was looking at it. Why? What did
You're
you
looking
like?
at Buffalo?
Everyone online's talking about Buffalo. Every video I watched today.
I feel like none of them have
scares me.
watched Buffalo for the past 2 years. If
It's-
they're all over.
I know, and that's my thing is everyone's just so down on Coastal Carolina. That's what everyone says. You know,
Yeah.
fading Coastal Carolina, which I get. I'm a big Coastal Carolina guy. John and I have been betting Coastal Carolina for a few
I love
years
Coastal.
now. Yeah, so it's a big Coastal. You know, I think we're a big
Coastal
Sun Belt,
podcast.
a big Sun Belt
Yeah.
podcast here.
Yeah.
Mac and Sun Belt, those are our conferences.
Yeah,
But,
love them both.
Yeah, but Buffalo sucks. Speaking of the Mac, Buffalo sucks.
What a fall from grace they've
Yeah.
had. Seriously.
And they opened, I think the line's moving down. So, 13.5 because they're getting 96% of the money. To me, that's just crazy that 96% of a market is willing to take Buffalo in anything. To me, if I were going to play it, I would play the under 59.5. But
50. I have it at 58.5.
58.5, whatever it is, if I were going to play it. But I'm telling you, when I saw maybe four for four on articles or videos when they talked about this game, it was Coastal Carolina stinks, take Buffalo. And it's like, dude, Buffalo hasn't been good in a while. I forget what the stat was, but they haven't covered on the road in forever. Yeah, I don't know. I just can't believe so many people are betting on Buffalo.
Well, they got torched by Gardner Webb last week. That's what it is, Coastal Carolina. They gave up 500 yards.
I'm not touching
to
this game.
Gardner Webb. It's like, and I remember when we were doing like the preseason, it was like, what's the returning production stats and all that? Coastal Carolina was like third to last in the nation in returning production. They lost a lot. So I'm sure that's what it all has to do. They barely beat Gardner Webb. They beat Army, but they didn't look great in that game either.
But they're still.
I understand fading them, but Buffalo stinks too.
Buffalo lost at home to Holy Cross.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. They lost to Holy Cross. It opened up at a big, like, people are just hammering Buffalo because I feel like it's one of those things. Like, Buffalo's that team that won the MAC. I think they won like 3 or 4 years ago. Whenever they won, and it's. I mean, like I said before, like, have these people not watched Buffalo the past 2 years? They've just been absolutely garbage.
Yeah, and I mean, they lost on a Hail Mary, so I mean, maybe there's some play there. But still, you're in a position to lose on a Hail Mary to Holy Cross.
Yeah, to Holy Cross.
Like, I don't know what we're talking about here. So
you shouldn't be losing at all in that.
Yeah.
The more we talk about this, the more I want to hammer Coastal Carolina. But
yeah, I'm probably going to end up. I was looking at taking them anyway. Yeah, and
first half is minus 7.5, full game 14. Yeah. Everybody on Buffalo.
That's a 2 p.m. game.
1 p.m.
1.
Oh, okay.
Jumping to 2 p.m. Rutgers at Temple. You taking Rutgers minus 17.5?
I'll probably end up doing it just because it's Rutgers. That's
disgusting. That's too much. Greg, you touching this game?
No.
All right. I have a spike game. Hey, guys, let me know if I should take it or not, but this is a big spike game for me here. I had a lot on Virginia last week. They absolutely suck. I don't know how else to say it. They suck, okay? Old Dominion, on the other hand, pretty good. They beat Virginia Tech week 1, and they played – I watched their whole game last week because they played ECU, and I was looking for ECU to kill them. I really like ECU, and they put up a good fight against them. I was a little worried for a second if they weren't gonna DC wasn't going to cover the both. They covered first half and full, but it was getting close. I kind of want to take Old Dominion plus 9.5 money line. Am I crazy here though? The annoying thing about this is I thought I was going to be super slick here, and then I look at where all the money is, all the bets, everyone's on Old Dominion, and it moved from 11.5 to 9.5, which scares the absolute hell out of me. It's moving the right way. It's just scary. What do you guys think about this game?
To me, sometimes it's tough with that because, so what that indicates to me, again, we're recording early, but even people get into the market on Monday when the lines get set, or Sunday whenever the lines actually get set. And these guys, to me, that indicates Old Dominion's the right play, but at 9.5, I don't know if it's the right play. Because they got it at 11.5. They got the big, the sharp guys, big money guys, Vegas guys. They got it at 11. They got it at 11.5. Now that's 9.5. I know it's only a point or two, but sometimes a point or two is make or break. Yeah.
Dude, especially from 10. 10's a magic number here.
So if it ever gets back up to 10, 10.5, I think that's definitely the play. I do agree with you, though, that I think Old Dominion has looked pretty good, and Virginia just absolutely stunk last week. But I don't know if that's just an aberration and they're going to be back to being okay. I mean, neither of these teams are great. Don't get me wrong there. But Old Dominion's
I'm starting to like Old Dominion, bro. They might they're starting to be my low-key team because I was forced to watch them the first 2 weeks. One, because they were early game on that Friday night versus Virginia Tech. Watch them. East Carolina, bet them, watch them. I think I'm going to bet them. So I know they're in Virginia. I hate Virginia so much, and I think this might be depending on what Chip says here. I agree with you. The 10 is a big deal.
Final thought on it, though. My spike game worked for me last week, so I fully support your spike game this week.
What was your spike bet last week?
Ball State minus 6.5.
Fade Ball State.
Whoever was against Ball State minus 6.5.
Ball State.
They won by 7.
This might be my favorite. I hate Virginia so bad. Man. Chip, what do you got?
I have Virginia in this game, actually.
Of course you do.
Minus 9.5. Yeah.
Tell me why.
I just think the Virginia Tech game was a total fluke for Old Dominion. Like a complete fluke. And I think it's like they got whooped by East Carolina. Yeah. I think it was just the Virginia Tech thing was just one of those things. Like every once in a while, Old Dominion beats Virginia Tech. It's a rivalry thing.
They scored 3 points against Illinois.
I know
3 points.
I know.
3 points, dude.
I know, but I think they're better than that. They have a really good quarterback. I think they're better than that.
The Jets scored more than 3 points last week.
Okay, but not a lot more.
Albany scored more than 3 points last week. Everybody scored more than 3 points besides Virginia. They're at Illinois.
I know, but if that's all true, then why is the line 9.5?
Illinois lost to Indiana.
But if this is all true, why is the line? If Old Dominion's so good, then why is the line 9.5?
Everybody's on them. They moved from 11.5 to 9.5. I think this is one of those games that Virginia
I think everybody's
like
still thinking about that Virginia Tech game.
Yeah, so am I. I can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
All right. You guys touching South Alabama, UCLA?
I got my spite pick, by the way. You guys reminded me. I got that one later. But I haven't looked at it's not for it's a 7:30 game.
Okay, we'll get to it.
Not touching UCLA, not touching Iowa State, Ohio.
Good, because I hate Iowa State. I can't believe they're minus 18. I would have took them. They're a little bit lower, but they stink.
Oh, I got Ohio. Plus 19.
I would take Ohio. I got
Ohio plus 19.
Iowa State's so bad.
I thought I took Ohio last week against Penn State, and I thought I had a chance with them the entire game, and they played pretty well. And Iowa State's not nearly as good a team as Penn State, I don't think.
If you like Ohio, this might make me take Ohio because I watched Iowa State and they stink. That's the one thing I know. If you actually like Ohio, I might like that.
Penn State,
like the Ohio pick.
Like Ohio looked at least kind of competitive against Penn State at Penn State. Like they moved the ball pretty well. And I think,
dude, this line opened at 20.5 and jumped to 18.5 real quick. And now it's sitting at 18 for me.
Yeah, it's
It's interesting.
mean,
I like Ohio. I'm gonna keep my eye on Ohio. I like that. But guys, I need someone to talk me through this. Someone talk me through this Cal at Notre Dame game. Notre Dame getting smacked, playing now their backup quarterback at home, minus 10.5. What are we talking about? How on earth is Notre Dame minus 10.5 and everybody's on them? Could somebody explain to me why I shouldn't take Cal and the money line?
is everybody
Because
on
Notre
them?
Dame can't start 0-3. They can. They can start 0-3.
They definitely can.
Yeah.
They
Like,
definitely.
does anyone
can.
have like real analysis as to why this game is 10.5? I'm so confused.
Cal stinks. I don't know if there's
I mean,
anything beyond that.
we had the Cal over, right? Going into the season because it was so small. It was like 5.5. I remember something like that.
I didn't have that.
Yeah.
I don't think I didn't have that. I had Pac-12 overs. I didn't. I had Washington State.
Hmm.
Did you guys
I mean,
have Cal?
No, I had UNLV last week. I had Cal for the full season, but UNLV I had last week, so I watched this game. Maybe that's why I'm leaning Cal a little bit too, a little bit of recency bias, but that also is some Joe Schmo thinking. Also, Notre Dame lost, right? So
Yeah.
there has to be something that says like no one could think if Cal stinks, they're going to be 2-1, and Notre Dame has to win a game. It's going to be 1-2, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to find Cal's
I like Cal.
Cal's game schedule so far this season because
They beat UNLV 20-14, and then they beat UC Davis week 1. They smacked them.
So to me, both those games really are. I mean, UNLV's a little bit more of a real game, but to me, neither of those are real games.
I took them like an idiot.
And they haven't been on the road yet either. This is their first road game.
Yeah, but the team luckily stinks that they're going up against.
That's my thing. The over-under on this game is 40 points, and I see 99% of the bets are on the under.
Yeah, it's at 41 for me.
Yeah, give me 11 points. I'll take Cal. I mean, I think Notre Dame is you have to prove it to me. There's a couple teams out there. It's like I'm going to bet against you until you have to prove it to me. I was thinking Nebraska, but instead I went with the under in the Oklahoma-Nebraska game. For this, I'm going straight up Cal, plus 11. I don't think they're very good. I think Notre Dame is bad. And I think the sky is falling. And also the spread, I think, has moved a bunch. Like, I saw it open at 12.5. It got down to 9.5. Now it's back up to 10.5. And I see 67% of the money on Notre Dame. So, if the opening line's 12.5 and it's getting bet, why did it move down? Why didn't it move up to minus 13, minus 14? So, I think that's just Vegas indicating they're going to lose. So, California's the play for me.
All right. Anyone have any other afternoon bets? There's a couple 3:00 games and Chips, New Mexico State is at Wisconsin catching 37.5.
I was looking at it. I'm off it for now, but I'm sure I'll talk myself into it at some point.
A couple other interesting games like Penn State at Auburn.
Yeah.
Penn State's -3 there on the road. Anyone have anything there? Or do you want to chime in with another 3:00 before I ask for some advice?
I got Penn State.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay.
I got Penn State -3 there. And I have two other 3:00. I got Kansas State -14.5 against Tulane and Northern Illinois -2.5 against Vandy.
Yes, fade Vandy. I love that.
Yeah. And Vandy weirdly opened as the favorite at Northern Illinois. And now it's -2.5 Northern Illinois. That might actually be my best bet. Northern.
I don't have that.
I love
by
them.
the way.
Love
I have Northern Illinois favorite the whole time from -1.5.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to minus.
I don't know what this site is that I'm looking at. What the fuck?
All the money's on Northern Illinois.
Well, I don't know.
I like it.
I think
Vandy
is dog
stinks.
shit.
I have a little confession to make about this game. I'm not
Northern
taking
Illinois
it.
losing at home.
I think Vanderbilt's not as bad as people say.
Ooh.
Are you taking Vandy?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
But I watched them against Wake Forest because the under was
Yes.
at 66.5.
They're not bad.
Got to 70. Dude, they won their first two games. Granted, it was Hawaii and Elon. And then Wake Forest, I think, blew them out in the second half. But I think they were competitive in that game. And
Dude, if they win this game, isn't that the over? Is the 2.5 for them?
Oh, let me look. I
That
don't know
was
if it
the
was
two and
two
a
and a
I
half,
think it
half or
was
man.
2.5. It was 2.5.
It was because it was supposed to be the game one. We're like, all right, they're halfway
Yeah, it
there.
is 2.5.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I think the rest of their schedule is really tough, so I'm rooting for you, Chip. I need Northern Illinois in this one for my under, so I'm not betting it because I already have a future on it, so I'll just take it like that instead. I love Tulane, but I agree with Chip. If I were to take anything, it would be K-State in that game. I think they've been very impressive so far this season. Again, Tulane, love the jerseys, love the team name. Um, but I can't take anything in that game because it's pulling at my heartstrings. What I can take, something again we've talked about, like I don't know if we have to start get it going for this, the bet against list. Colorado sucks.
Dude,
Minnesota, I think, is
I've been
really good.
screaming at the top of my lungs.
Minus 27.5. Fine, I'll take it. I think Minnesota's been pretty good. I think Ingram's one of the best running backs in the league. I think that they've been pretty stout on defense too, unless I'm misremembering that. And
No,
like
I
I
can't
said,
hate on it.
Colorado fucking stinks.
So bad.
So I
They're
think
so bad.
27 is a
like that.
lot of points for Minnesota, don't get me wrong. But yeah, they won 38-0 against a team I won't mention because I feel bad for Chip, and 62-10 so far. So, I think they've been playing pretty good defense. They run. Yeah, give me 27.5, Minnesota.
All right, guys. I need some advice for this game. This game, I think, is the game of the year for both of these programs. It's at 3:30. It's the Fox
word.
game. BYU undefeated against the spread, catching 4 points at Oregon. Or Oregon -4, dude. Someone believes in something. The team that's undefeated against the spread and it's been looking good all year. Catching 4 points. Bo Nix, 5 touchdowns last week. Put up 70 on Chips Western Kentucky. What do you guys think? Like, talking to this game, you guys know where I want to go. You got but -4, I feel like is crazy. I thought, to be honest with you, I thought it was going to be the opposite. When I wanted to see how this line was going to open, I thought it was going to be +3 Oregon at home. After what happened versus Georgia, versus like the other real team that they played. And BYU's been looking good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm having a tough time with this. I don't think I have it on my card here, but I'm kind of leaning the over in this because the under's being bet and the line just keeps moving up. I think BYU's a tough place to play. I don't know if Oregon's a tough place to play.
Hell yeah.
I'm not sure
But
what.
more at night though. I
Yeah.
feel like at night in Oregon is fire.
Yeah. BYU,
Of
I don't
course,
know.
Oregon
We
is.
obviously don't know the status of the receivers. I know that 2 of them were ruled out last week and that went under. But to me, it just seems so easy to either bet BYU or to bet the over in this one.
The BYU seems so easy. That's why this one doesn't make sense to me.
That's why I'm staying away from it personally.
That's why I love Oregon.
I'm not taking it.
That's why I love Oregon.
That doesn't
Obviously,
make
I
sense
have
at
them
all.
anyway.
Doesn't make sense at all that BYU is 3.5 points.
Exactly, dude. Everybody's on them. We all saw, as Greg alluded to, them going crazy at home. They're on the road here. I love Oregon -4. I don't give a damn. I'm sorry. I just like it. All right, guys. I might have another spite pick here. This is kind of my fault that I took this team last week, but I don't know. I'm still feeling kind of spiteful here. And I kind of want to fade UAB.
Okay.
I mean, they are playing Georgia Southern, who took down Chip's Nebraska last week. So we know that Georgia Southern's good, right, Chip?
I don't know if they're good because they beat Nebraska, but they can beat a team. Yeah.
So on the other hand, I know who can't beat a team, and that's UAB. And I bet UAB last week. They stink, dude. They lost to Liberty, 24-21. They're so bad. I got enamored by the Alabama A&M game where they won 59-0. I was like, all right, Liberty stinks. UAB was so bad. I like Georgia Southern, and I know this sounds crazy, but I like the money line. It sounds insane. I like Georgia Southern a lot here. This is another spite pick though. This is spite. I just hate UAB. Georgia Southern's been looking good. You guys have any thoughts here?
Yeah, to me, it's just a huge letdown spot. I mean, going into this, I was like, all right, I'm just going to bet against Georgia Southern, Marshall, and App State. But then I saw the matchups. I saw who they're playing. I don't really like UAB personally. I think there's a lot of points in this, so I get why you're leaning Georgia Southern. But I'm staying away personally. But
UAB giving anybody 11.5 points is disgusting.
It's crazy.
It's disgusting. I don't know what else to say. Chip, you have any thoughts on this game?
I don't know. I haven't looked at this game at all.
That's fine.
No.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We're not. This is the games that we wanted to have talk out, and it's fine if you haven't touched it. But
I would just be
Greg, you
concerned
mentioned
about
App State.
Yeah.
You mentioned App State. They're catching 12 and they're minus 12.5 at home versus Troy. Are you trying to fade that?
No, I can't because it's Troy. So I'm staying away from this one too, just because. Dude, I think they're college kids, dude. They just had a huge. I mean, those videos of Texas A&M yell leaders or whatever have to be flooding App State campus. Yeah. Like, they're celebrating, they're having a good time. College kids are college kids. Like, I don't think that they're fully in it, especially because they're playing Troy. I think there's opportunity for a big cover here for these guys, but.
I don't know about a letdown game here in
Chip.
this spot.
Yeah, Chip, if it was a better opponent, I'd be worried about it.
Yeah.
What's a Troy team over?
Oh, I don't know.
While you go off here, I'm curious because 53 looks pretty small to me.
The total here, 53.
Yeah, I kind of like the over. Unless Troy's like 10.5 or something. After that 13, now I don't know anymore.
I know. Sometimes these team totals are crazy.
20.5 on DraftKings.
Dude, I kind of like the over.
Over is plus 100 on DraftKings. I'm looking at right now.
What's the total for the games? 53 on DraftKings too.
52.
Yeah, I like over 53.
Yeah, I like that.
All right.
I got some more 3:30 games.
Go ahead, give me 3:30, and then I want to hear what your thoughts on Bama. To your favorite first half team, that's at 4.
Yeah, I will be betting Bama first half. The line's not out yet. I don't care what it is.
It's out.
They need
to know what it is.
Oh yeah, what is it? It's going to be like 30 something.
35.
Yep.
Oh, 30. Yeah, no, 30.5. 30.5.
Even better.
The under's 35.
I like to have 35. I love it at 30.5.
The under is 35, which is hilarious.
Yeah, that's wild. I like the Bama first half. I actually didn't have it at the time when I put together, so you said it's minus 30.5. And then I love Ole Miss minus 16. I don't know if someone could talk me out of this. I talked about Georgia Tech to start the season. I think that they stink. I think Ole Miss is good. Georgia Tech gave up 40 points to DJ and Clemson, and he stinks. So imagine what Ole Miss and these Rebels can do. So give me minus 16.5.
It's a lot of points.
Yeah, and it's on the road for Ole Miss, but I don't care.
Georgia Tech sucks.
They suck.
I know.
I think Ole Miss is pretty good. You guys were, I think, on the over for Ole Miss on the preview. I was on the under. I might be wrong on that. Hand up. I'll be the first to admit it. But we'll see. It's still a long season. I'm taking them here minus 16 against Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I love Lane. I love Lane Kiffin. Love Ole Miss. I don't know if I'm going to take this one, but I'm with you on that. Just Georgia Tech is so bad. I would always bet against them. That's a good bet against team for sure. Speaking
of bad teams, is Houston not bad? I was watching Houston last week. They're so bad, dude. Why are they minus 10 versus Kansas? It's your team, Chip.
I don't know. I love Kansas.
Houston's not my team.
No, Kansas.
Oh, Kansas? Yeah, I got Kansas plus 10.5.
I don't understand. Why is Houston minus 10 versus anyone? Like what?
I think it's disrespect. I think it's disrespect to Kansas. Personally, some people still think it's a basketball school.
Well, it is still a basketball school.
I just like having that debate against any basketball school.
Yeah, it's always going to be a basketball school.
It's true.
But no, I mean, I watched Houston's game against UTSA, and look, I picked Texas Tech last week. It was the right pick. Yeah, I knew Texas Tech would light them up on offense again, and UTSA lit them up again, and UTSA lit them up in the first week. Houston's defense just isn't as good as it was last year. They're just not as good as they were last year. So, they're obviously not ranked now. They lost, but I don't know. They're overvalued again. I don't know. I guess, like you said, not enough respect for what Kansas did last week against West Virginia.
I love Kansas on the money line.
But I love Kansas here. I am absolutely taking. I got 10.5 here. I'm for sure taking that, and maybe on the money line too. I feel like I feel like it's going to be a popular pick, Kansas, just because of what they did last week.
It's not, dude.
No?
The money's on Houston.
Is it really?
Yeah, 60% on Houston.
See, I don't get that. Just
It's
like
crazy, dude.
I haven't been impressed with Houston.
It's just a name at this point. It has to be because I watch Houston and I'm watching Kansas. I don't understand.
Kansas can score. Kansas can score, and Houston can't stop anybody. Yeah, I don't.
Makes no sense. Greg, you got anything else?
For this game, no, but I have another thing for the 3:30 slate.
Oh, go ahead.
I like the Wisconsin under 46.5.
Versus
New Mexico State.
New Mexico State.
Chips Aggies.
Yeah, and I can't do it. I can't do it on the spread, even though this is a perfect bounce back against a bad team spot. But 37 is just way too much for Wisconsin. I don't know. So I like what we were talking about before we started recording. One bad thing happens. One kick return, one fumble, one pick six, one stupid play, and you're not covering 40-something points with Wisconsin. Right. So give me the under 46.5 for this one.
All right. I'm going to jump to a 5 p.m. I hate Liberty so much. The 2-0. Wake Forest looked so good last week. They're at home, minus 16.5. The only thing that scared me is everyone's on Wake. What scared me even more is the line's not moving. I don't know what the hell that means. It's just solid at 16.5. I like it, dude. I like it. I don't care. I bet you. I bet UAB because of Liberty last week, and I was wrong. I'm gonna bet Wake Forest this week because of Liberty. I was right. Chip was right about Wake Forest. I'm on the bandwagon. I hate Liberty so much. I'm gonna fade them. They won last week. They're 2-0. I'm taking Wake. Chip, are you taking Wake?
I am now. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about it before, but now that you mention it, I think Wake's just going to start to roll now that they have Hartman back. I think they'll just, at least until they get into the heart of the ACC schedule. I like Wake in this one. I think Liberty stinks.
Yeah, 2-0 is insane. Minus 9.5 first half too. I kind of like that.
Especially at home, starting hot.
Yeah.
Just a field goal and touchdown. That's not bad. You got any other thoughts here?
Besides the fact that you're talking me into it, no, I'm taking that.
I'm taking Wake. I think I like Wake first half.
Yeah, I for sure like Wake. I don't think Liberty will put up any much of a fight.
Yeah, I'm going.
These lines look like on Saturday too.
Yeah, for the record, I'm doing Wake first half minus 9.5.
I love that.
Completely.
All right, anyone touching Mississippi State LSU?
Yeah, Mississippi State -2. Mississippi State hasn't let me down yet. Love them.
Tell me about Mississippi State. I haven't really been watching them. I'm watching LSU. I know they're bad, but tell me about Mississippi State.
It looks like one of Mike Leach's best teams in a long time, man. Like it's not just I forget if we were talking about this before we came on, but
before
we came on. This isn't just like an all offense Mike Leach team. I feel like it's by the way, one of the top returning production teams in the country. He brought back a lot from last year. Mm-hmm. They looked, the quarterback for Arizona, he looked great in week 1, like torch San Diego State. And then he came back. And then in week 2, Mississippi State just played great defense against him, really locked him up. And I just feel like this is not your typical Mike Leach we're going to throw the ball 50 times and try and outscore you. And that's the only way we can win. Like, they have a better defense than they usually do. Like, obviously, they're going to throw the ball a bunch, and he has the same air raid offense, but I think their defense is better than the Mike Leach defense typically is. They're still fun as hell to watch. And I think that they should be. I know the game's at LSU. That's why it's only -2, but I think Mississippi State is going to end up. I don't know. In one of my parlays, I put them to win 10 games. I'm very high on them. I think Will Rogers, their quarterback, is an absolute stud.
Yeah.
He's going to throw for 1 billion yards this year. Oh, my God.
So you like
And
-2?
I like -2. I think it's
Okay.
might be my
Greg.
best bet.
Oh, Greg.
Yeah.
I like the under in this one for the same reasons as Chip talking about Mississippi State defense. I think that they have a pretty legit defense. I don't know what I really feel about LSU and their offense. So I like the under 53.5, but the more Chip is talking, the more I'm thinking I might be
Mississippi
switching to
State.
Mississippi State -2. I don't have any faith in LSU. They had a bad week 1 loss, and they bounced back last week and killed some no-name team by a zillion points. The reason why I like the under is because I think Mississippi State can stop the LSU offense, and then I think it might be a tough place to play in Baton Rouge for Mississippi State on the road. If LSU has that juice, because I think LSU people know like the season's on the line right now. So that's why I was kind of leading with the under, even though Mississippi State can score, and I like Will Rogers. I just don't know about them scoring 30 or 40 points on the road. But because I'm thinking that they're going to score 30 or 40 points, I don't think LSU is going to score 30 or 40 points. So I'm going Mississippi State -2. I think that's the easier bet.
All right. Chip, give me another 7 p.m. game here.
I got one real quick, though, before we go too far. I think I got one 5 o'clock game that I missed that I won't talk about real quick. We talked about letdown games from last week. We talked about App State. We talked about Georgia Southern. We did not talk about Marshall. And the reason why I didn't take the other games is because I don't like the teams that they're playing. I like Bowling Green.
You do.
But I don't know if I should like Bowling Green, so I wanted to talk about it.
Why do you like Bowling Green?
I don't know. They're back school. I just like them. Maybe it's because of years past and I bet on them and they've won for me. But this season, I don't think they've done anything impressive.
They've given up like a shit ton of yards.
I know.
To both teams they played. They've looked like shit.
But they're at home. They're getting 17 points. Yes, they played UCLA week 1 and they lost by a lot, but then they played Eastern Kentucky close, even though they did give up a lot of points. 59-57 is a lot of scoring. It was a 7 overtime game, so that's another reason why they gave up a lot of points.
7 overtime. Eastern Kentucky, fucking Christ.
Yeah, I like Bowling Green, man. Wasn't Bowling Green the
everybody's
team?
on? Listen, you're thinking you're a genius here.
Man, I was looking
Marshall.
at Bowling Green, and I talked myself out of it. And now you're going to talk me back into
it. 83% of the money on Bowling Green. 80% of the bets on Bowling Green. They're 0-2 and they're bad.
Dude, wasn't Bowling Green the team that went to Minnesota last year and won outright?
Yeah.
All right, then I'm taking them. Now I'm taking them, and I'm taking a money line because I'm up on Bowling Green because I had that. I had the money line in that. I'm up on Bowling Green lifetime betting. Bowling Green.
Fuck. Now I have to bet them.
17, and I will be betting the money line.
I'm staying so far away from this game. I'll let you guys enjoy it. It's on NFL Network. That's hilarious. This game's on NFL Network.
I do like Marshall too. I'm actually kicking myself that we didn't talk about that Marshall game because Marshall's one of those teams like we talked about ECU, Coastal Carolina. They're one of those weird teams that I do like to bet.
Shout out Chad Pennington and Randy Moss.
Yep. Did not take them last week. I really wish I did.
All right. Can we go to 7?
Let's see. 7 o'clock games. Yes, because I have a terrible, terrible pick. I need you guys to talk me out of it.
Go ahead.
Toledo at Ohio State.
Oh,
plus 31.5 points. I'm not impressed with Ohio State so far.
I know.
Ohio State has a long history of disappointing at home. They don't cover.
Everybody's on Toledo.
I think rightfully so.
Yeah.
Again, these aren't the Joe Schmoes
Toledo's
that are waking up
good.
Saturday and putting bets in. The people that are betting right now are sharp betters.
I don't mind Toledo here. 31 is a lot.
Toledo's good.
And again, I'm up money on Toledo because I bet them last week against UMass and they killed them 55-10. UMass is playing a terrible, terrible team this week, and I still think I might bet against them if I get a line.
All right.
But yeah,
Chip,
give
you got any
me
thoughts here?
Toledo.
I like Toledo too.
I'm not sure if I'll bet this game, but if I did, I'd bet Toledo. I don't know if I trust Ohio State right now. And Ohio State is like a home favorite. They don't typically cover a lot of those games because they're favored by a lot and they don't, they've been inconsistent recently, especially their defense has stunk. But now their offense looks a little shaky. We'll see. I don't trust them, basically.
All right. Let's go to a team that I really trust. One of my best bets of the day. Also, another kind of fade spot from last week. Texas Tech beat Houston in the double overtime game. Houston stinks. Texas Tech stinks. I was watching that game all the way to the end. I love NC State so much. You guys know I'm on them all year. -10, and the people like Texas Tech. Okay, great. I like them. I don't think Texas Tech is gonna score 1 point. It's 55, which is funny. Chip, another one. I'm gonna ask you if you can get me that Texas Tech team over. I would like to see where it is here. If it's anything in the 20s, I'm taking the under there. I really like NC State here -10. First half is -6, which I absolutely love. Touchdown, no problem. I love NC State. Somebody talk me out of this.
The only thing I can do is direct your attention to the under because I think that's what I'm betting. I saw the line open.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I wanted to check with Chip what the Texas Tech team was because I don't think they're going to score. So 55 looks good to me.
Yeah, that's true too. We talked about NC State and their defense being pretty stout. I don't think Texas Tech is particularly good. I saw the line open at 57. It's now 56, even though 93% of the money's on the over. To me, that's a clear indicator to bet the under. So I'm doing it under 56.
Well, the team total's 22.5 on DraftKings for Texas Tech. I'm not going to try and talk you out of it. I have NC State -9.5. So I like NC State. NC State is money at home. They struggle against the spread on the road, even since
they just struggle against ECU. I feel like that's what they do. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but against the spread on the road, their record is not good. But at home, they are money. They almost always cover. So for sure, I'm taking them here.
All right. Anyone have any thoughts on South Florida USF versus the Gators?
South Florida, no.
South Florida is so bad. I like the Gators, but 24.5 is a lot. I don't trust it after last week. SMU versus Maryland, the Terps, your boys, Greg. Are you touching this game? -3.5 at home?
I am. I don't know. Have you seen the over-under in this game?
73, dude. Insane.
73? I saw it touch 74 in some places.
Yeah, 75.5.
Yeah, earlier today, when I put the spreadsheet together, it was 74.5. So I had under 74.5. I'll make it 73 now because it's updated. I saw it open at 71, and it's getting bet over a ton. SMU, I think, is pretty good. I think this is the toughest game Maryland's played so far this year. Maryland, like I said, sometimes lets down in the fourth quarter, but that's because they're playing inferior teams. I do not think SMU is an inferior team. I think SMU has a chance to win this game outright. When we were given the preview, this is one of the games that I said was a coin flip game. I still think it is. I think so many people are on the over, and it's still moving up. I like the under in this one. Normally when it's this high, I say you just don't think just throw, take over 74. That's crazy. But I'm going under in this one. Like I said, I had a lot of unders this week. This is one of them.
Chip.
I don't have anything for this game. If I was going to bet someone in this game, I would take SMU. I still don't trust Maryland completely so far based on what I've seen. I took Buffalo in week 1 against them, and that's part of why I don't trust Buffalo now.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
but I just they haven't shown me enough consistently. I still would take
Fair.
SMU. Yeah.
Fair. Well, give me a game you like. 7 o'clock or 7:30.
I got 3 7:30 ones.
What do you got?
I got Western Michigan plus 10.5 against Pitt, Washington -3 against Michigan State, and Nevada plus 23.5 versus Iowa.
Yuck. Yuck.
Yuck to which one?
So your line's moved a little bit right now, which is fine. But so Iowa's -23, and the
Okay.
over/under is 39.5.
No, I'll probably take the under too.
Greg, what do you think?
I like the under in that one. I didn't have it on my card, but I'm adding it on my card.
Why is Nevada? Why is Iowa favored by 23 points when they can't score 23 points?
You know what, guys? I like the over.
No, the over.
I like the over in Iowa.
I'm kicking myself because I said I was watching week
What the
one.
hell
I
is
said
23, Greg?
I said if the over/under is anything in the 40s, I would take the under in Iowa State. I didn't because it was exactly 40. Maybe I'm chasing myself. I bitched out. I'm not bitching out again. Iowa absolutely sucks. Nevada absolutely sucks. There's a chance this game's 2-0, which is a safety, and that's it. I'm going under 39.5. I missed it once. I won't miss it again. That's the gambler's dilemma, and it should be written on my tombstone somewhere.
But listen, I agree with you, but why is it -23, bro?
I don't know. I have no idea. That's why I'm
dude, Iowa's gonna murder Nevada, dude. This is gonna be
No,
the
they're
game.
not. No, they're not. No, they're not.
murder.
Dude, it's 23 points.
Murder.
It's -23.
They're not murdering anyone. They're not murdering anyone. They average like 2 yards per play.
They're gonna get
They
two
suck.
defensive touchdowns at least versus Nevada.
Nevada sucks.
Dude, I like the over. I might take the over 39.5. I really might.
You're sick.
Damn, I like Iowa so much. Why is it 23? This is crazy. Okay. I have no thoughts on Michigan State, Washington. I haven't really watched any of those teams. It moved up to 3.5 though.
My thoughts are that why, for whatever reason, this game is Washington is favored. It means that people are agreeing with me. I hope that Michigan State is overrated.
But everyone's
And-
on Michigan State.
Then why is Washington favored? I don't understand this line. I don't understand
It doesn't
Washington
make
is
sense.
favored.
That makes me
by
want to take
3.
Washington, not Michigan State.
Yeah, I mean, I've said I took the under on Michigan State before the season. I think they're overrated.
This line makes no sense.
I picked when we were doing the preseason. This is one of the games I picked them to lose. So
I think they might.
I think they're going to lose this game.
I think Washington's going to win this game too. Greg, any thoughts on this or Pittsburgh, Western Michigan?
No thoughts. Who'd you like in the Pittsburgh Western Michigan?
Western Michigan.
Yeah, I like Western
Speaking
Michigan
of
too.
teams to bet against, Pitt is
Pitt.
the team to bet against right
Yeah,
now.
Pitt stinks. Yeah.
And I
agree.
love Western Michigan at home. These teams never play MAC teams at home, and they're coming to Western Michigan. I love Western Michigan.
Yeah, another.
All right, go ahead.
I got a
Go
different
ahead.
one.
Go ahead.
I was talking about making a bet against list and just sticking with it. I have to stick with it. Charlotte stinks. I don't know how many times I can say it on this podcast. They suck. The problem is Georgia State's really not that impressive either.
That's a tough game to watch.
The over under 61. Why? Neither of these teams have scored any points this season.
It's -19 though.
Yeah, that's another thing I don't get it, but it's Georgia State -19. I can't bet Charlotte +19, even though I think that's probably the best bet if I'm taking a side. But I mean, Charlotte scored 13, 24, 21, and Georgia State played a pretty good. What was it? North Carolina last week. They scored 28 against North Carolina's defense, which some are saying is the worst in the country. And they scored 14 the week before that against South Carolina. So neither of these teams have scored 30 points, so I don't know why. They'll both score 30 points for the first time this week. I just don't see it. I'm going under 61.5 in that game.
All right. I gotta jump to this 9 p.m. Miami versus Texas A&M game. Because speaking of spreads that don't make any sense,
This is the most baffling spread of the day.
Miami +5 and +178 on the money line. What on earth am I missing here? What on earth am I missing? What's happening?
I wish I knew. It
I
makes
don't know.
it makes no sense so hard. It's kind of like the Iowa thing you did earlier, a little bit in a way. It's so
Bizarre.
obvious that they want you to bet Miami. I'm betting Texas A&M. Texas A&M -5, -4, 5.5, whatever it is, 4.5. I don't care.
This is my other ACC team. You know that.
Yeah,
It's Miami and it's NC State. They can't lose games. That's just not. It just can't be part of the plan.
I
They
love
can't
Miami,
lose
too.
they can't. Like, I understand not taking the line, but they just can't. They can't lose games, dude. +5 is just so enticing.
then that's why you have to take Texas
Yeah.
A&M. You have to take picks that make you sick to your stomach, and laying points against Miami after what Texas A&M. I tweeted it out too. Winning Peak Weekly. Follow us on Twitter. Let us
This
know
is
what
a
you
tough
guys are
one,
taking.
guys.
I tweeted it out Texas A&M week 1 against whoever they were playing. I was like, whatever the halftime score was, I was like, you really only scored 17 points against, whatever it was, Texas Southern or whoever
A&M
they were playing.
sucks, bro.
It's crazy.
Man, I'm gonna have to think about this one for a little bit, but I'm obviously leaning towards Miami and the money line.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just got bet with my heart. You guys got any? I know I skipped some 738s. You guys have anything in there? I know Texas is playing, Clemson's playing. Any thoughts there?
No, I don't have either of those games.
Good, thank God.
No.
USC.
I'll
Yep.
take S. I'm going to take SC. I haven't even looked at what the spread is, but I know I'm going
12
to
and a
take
half.
SC. Yeah, I'm going to take SC. Yeah,
Where's
just
Fresno?
keep taking SC.
Okay,
I'm
sounds
on
good.
I'm on the SC bandwagon with Chip. I may have been wrong on this one. I think it's 12.5.
Failed last
That's
week.
fine.
Mhm.
All right, I might hop on with you guys for 1
They're
week
gonna
just to
keep-
jinx it.
They're going to keep rolling.
All right, if all
SC's
three of us take it, they're obviously gonna lose. So
If
I'm down.
Utah dips below 21, I'll take that. But right now it's at
They're
21
sitting
and a
at
half.
21. No, I see it at 21.
Okay, so yeah, if it drops to 20, I'll be taking that. I just don't know if they're going to be winning by 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's tough. I like Utah. You guys have any other games?
No, that's it.
Oh, my spite pick. I
Oh,
forgot
yeah.
to say.
Yeah, what's the spy pick?
Florida Atlantic is +9, I want to say, or +9.5.
Against UCF.
Fuck UCF.
Let's go, Chip.
Fuck Gus Malzahn. Yeah, for his play calling against Louisville last week. My God, he sucks. The
enough.
first half of that game went perfect. I thought I was gonna easily cover the first quarter, first half, whatever.
Yeah.
They were moving the ball so well on those first 2 drives and running the ball really well. And all of a sudden, he turns his quarterback who can't throw into like a pocket passer. He threw the ball like 40 times in the game. I don't know what he was trying to be, like the smartest guy in the room. It just made no sense what they were doing on offense. No sense at all. And he was trying to outthrow Malik Cunningham of all people. And by the way, they still only barely lost. They lost by like 6 points. So that says a lot about Louisville. The fact that they were both shooting themselves in the foot. Neither one of those teams is very good, I don't think. But yeah, UCF just screwed that. They should have won that game. I forget what the spread was, but I had UCF and I think it was 5 or something. And I think most people were on UCF, and I don't know. It was at UCF too. It was Jesus. I thought that UCF would win that one after watching Louisville play like shit against Syracuse. And man, UCF just gave that one away. They really did, because Louisville's nothing special, and they just folded after a hot start.
I like it. I like the spike picks in this podcast. I like it. Does anyone have any final thoughts here on this week 3 bonanza?
I went
game.
I went head hunting for a spite pick too. I was trying to find Utah State, but they're off this week. So next week I'll be back on my spite pick game. I don't know what the Ball State line is, but I'll probably take whoever they're playing.
Fade Ball State. # Fade Ball State.
Yep.
And Jason Whitlock.
Yeah. Facts.
On that note, you guys know the drill. You've made it all the way here. Let us know what you got. Hit us up on Winning P Weekly on Twitter, Chip Murphy 7 on Twitter. Greg is the video producer of Knicks, Jets, ETC on YouTube. That's where you can find the Knicks playlist, the Jets playlist, and the Winning Picks Weekly playlist for the college and the NFL full slates. Also catch Greg on the Jets pod with me, the Trinacaster, Mr. Alex Terrace, who's also holding it down on Knicks Fan TV. I was just chilling with Derek Harper the other day. Also the editor of Knicks Fan TV, where Chip writes some articles. Knicks coming through in about 2 months. So 2 weeks. I got 2 months. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Training camp starting. So we here, man. Like, subscribe to our Apple, Spotify, Google Play. Leave us a 5-star review. Give us a comment. We're on Facebook too. If you hit us up there, Instagram, on Twitter, that'd be fantastic. That's about it, boys. Anything else for the listeners besides Bo Nix?
No, Winning P Weekly on Twitter, Chip Murphy 7 on Twitter. Let us know what you guys are taking this week.
Yeah, we had a lot of dilemmas, a lot of spite picks. Let us know what you guys think. We out.